Good evening and welcome to another edition of Focus on Hopkins County. I'm your host, Tim Thomas. We're glad you've joined us for this very special edition of our program. We have a two-part program for you today, and we hope that you will call someone, let them know that Focus on Hopkins County is on. We are kicking off our 18th celebration, 18 years of bringing you public service programming, and we're glad to have with us helping us to celebrate and to kick off. This is our first show of our 18th year. None other than the Hopkins County Attorney, Mr. Byron Hobgood.
Delighted to be here. I appreciate the invitation.
Glad to have you with us. He's going to be sharing with us some interesting things, and we encourage you to stay tuned for the second half when Miss Dana Brown is going to be coming, and she's going to be talking to us about a special event that's coming up in February as well. So we encourage you to keep that in mind. My friend,
Just
congratulations.
Sure enough, friend. I appreciate it.
Congratulations to you and winning a very important election as county attorney here in Hopkins County.
Thank you so much. It was actually the people did it, and I was happy to have the support that I had, and I'm settling in. This will be the end. When this starts tomorrow will be my second week. I mean, I've had 2 weeks of it, and this will be going into the third week.
Wow.
So it's been very busy. A lot of things. It's like they say that the stressors in life are a death in the family, a divorce, and moving. Mm-hmm. Well, I was moving.
And that's not an easy job.
Not an easy job.
No. And I tell you, we're just happy for you and happy that you took time out of your busy schedule to come and talk with me and to our listening audience as well. We're going to just talk a little bit first tell us a little bit where you grew up.
Well, I was born in the old hospital, the brick one on Wattle, in 1947. And I've always had a little trouble making my mind up. Actually, I was breached, but then they were going to do a C-section, and about the last 10 minutes, I flipped it back over and came out the right way. Yeah. So everything was good. I was about 10 pounds. And we lived on Hodge Street. My dad worked he had a garage with his daddy in Morton's Gap. And so that was where I was born, at the hospital, and grew up on Hodge Street, went to Hall Street School. And I tell you what, the experience of growing up in Madisonville was a good one. We had, back then they had these mom and pop grocery stores on every corner. And so there were a number of children, baby boom times. And so there were a lot of children that went to school at Hall Street. Yes. And I guess that's where my first public job came. I was in the 5th grade. You could be a patrol boy. So I was a patrol boy, and that worked out real well. But by the 6th grade, I'd gone to the movies and I lost my badge. You had a little like a strap, and then went around your waist and then around your shoulder, and you had a little badge there, patrol boy. And so I did that. And they didn't can me or anything for losing the badge. So, but that job turned out to be pretty good. I enjoyed that. And then from Hall Street, I went on to seminary. Enjoyed seminary. I played football in grade school, and I played at seminary. And then after seminary, I went to Madisonville High School. The old one over on Browning Springs. Yes. So I was a big kid. I didn't get in too many fights because I was about 6 feet then. I was getting way on up there, 175.
Well, that was kind of scared of you.
It worked out well, and matriculated through high school, and I was in the Beta Club, so I had pretty good grades enough to get in the Beta Club, enjoyed that. And then I went to Western. I enjoyed Western, and that was my freshman year. My parents had enough money for me to go for a year.
Yeah.
So then I came back here, and the second year, and I had to work. So I went out to Tig's ShopRite, and they hired me there. And I'd had a little experience because when I was a senior, I worked at Kroger's. And I worked there as a carryout and as a stock boy for about, I'd say about a year, year and a half. And then I decided that you know, it really kind of interferes with your ability to date on weekends if you're working weekends, stock in a grocery store. So I had a paper route with the Messenger for a number of years through high school, which I was able to earn money, had my first car paid for. It was and you won't believe this, it was $250. It was a 55 Nash Rambler.
Wow.
It was pink.
Pink.
The body of it was pink, and it had a cream-colored top. And it was not a girl magnet. It was just, you know, I had a car instead of a bicycle.
Yeah,
you know, you reach that,
yeah.
reach that crazy age when you're in high school where you feel like you're too old for a bicycle and too young for a car, so you either walk wherever you go or you get friends that have a vehicle to haul you around.
Yeah.
So did that hauling around, bumming rides for all my sophomore year, pretty near all the time. But then I still had my paper route in the afternoons after I got out of school so I could make money. And then back to when I was a senior, I had my car. I lost a girlfriend because of that car. We used to.
I feel you on that one.
Yeah, well, it was, as I say, but she tolerated me. She was a real nice lady, and she was from White Plains, and we would ride around on Sunday afternoons and just, you know, kid stuff, driving around, stuff like that. One afternoon, pulled down at that time, there was you would go down a hill on Park Avenue towards Hall Street, a slight incline.
Right.
And it was a stop sign there. I hit that stop sign and stopped, and the wheel fell off. I mean, it just fell
came
off.
off, yeah.
Yeah. Lucky for me, Pappy Rhodes lived about 4 houses. He operated a wrecker station. So they came and they got it and fixed me up. And after that, I got rid of that car, and I traded for a little lady that ran a library. She had a little Renault Caravelle, 2-seater sports car. Absolute fun. That was a bag magnet. I loved that car. It wasn't much car. I mean, it was like having a squirrel in a cage.
Yeah.
And so, but I drove that up to Western, and I drove it for a while when I got back. When my freshman year was over, and I went out there to Tig's, and I was working during the day at Tig's, and then I would go to school at night. They had a thing called the Extension Center at that time, which was delightful because it afforded you the opportunity, much like community college does now with night classes.
Sure.
And I made enough money to save up and go to Western and get some loans and for different things like that to get me through. And I kept on going and graduated Western. And then while I was at Western, I had some, they call it work study. If you would do 20 hours with them, you get paid. And that was, you could use for your living expenses. While there, I worked for a couple of, an English department. And the small world story I have is that one of the guys that I worked with my junior year was John Carpenter. I've told this story before, people don't believe me. But he was there in the office, and then I said, well, you gonna come back next year? He was a freshman at that point. And he said, no, I'm gonna transfer to USC. I'm gonna be a film director, make a bunch of money in Hollywood. And I said, right. And sure enough, the guy did it. I mean, he went to USC, and he, you heard the movie Halloween, Friday the 13th, and all those, Escape from New York, Escape from LA, that's him.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a guy. So he was at my daughter's graduation from Western. They gave him an honorary doctorate degree. Of course, I'm sure he's a good citizen and a nice guy.
Sure.
He was then, I'm sure he is now. That's my small story of small world at Western. And then I got admitted to the law school at UK, and I went up there after Western.
What made you decide to go into law?
That's an interesting question. Okay, well, I wanted to be, I thought about it. I didn't know what I wanted to be. I wanted maybe an architect or something when I was a kid. My dad had always played in a dance band on Saturday nights. As a result of that, I would either stay with my father's parents on Saturday nights, because my mom would always go with them. And he did that up until he was about 80 years old. And so then I would stay with my mother's parents. Then when I was 11, like I said, I was a big kid. I stayed at home, wanted to stay home. And so when I was 11, on Saturday nights at that time, that's when Perry Mason came on. So, you know, I kept watching Perry Mason shows all the time, and I thought, hey, man, that's pretty cool. I like this.
Especially when he was winning all the cases.
Oh, yeah, he never lost a case, you know. I think the stars would have fallen out of the sky if Perry Mason lost. And so that got me very interested in law. And then when I went to UK, I did, again, work-study so I could pay my way. And it didn't cost that much to go to college back then. I mean, it was $150 a semester at Western. Law school was, I think, maybe $200. I mean, it's gotten out of sight now, it really is. So, but up there, I did some, my application for work study, I thought I was going to be washing dishes. So I got a call and said, come to the dean's office, and I went, and they said, well, we've gotten you a job at the Attorney General's office in Frankfurt as a lawyer's assistant for an assistant attorney general. And I had a couple of years there working at that, and then
that really whetted your appetite.
Oh, it did. And I had a great deal of responsibility because the lawyer that I worked for was blind. And so the state would send him on a lot of things over into the mountains. And I remember one time we'd gone over there, and it was a hot issue. I can't remember what it was, but Miss Marita Randolph from Providence, she was his secretary. Of course, I'm Providence, she's Providence, I'm Madisonville. We got along great. And Marita had been there for a long time, and been David's secretary. David Merle was the guy's name. And so we're in eastern Kentucky in a holler in a little town, and people are all mad at us. And David said, say, Hopgood, you and Marita go check the car for bombs. He said, I can't, I'm blind. So we didn't know what a bomb looked like. We said, well, I guess so. So we started off, and off we went heading back home to Lexington from the mountains. And David said, well, if you all see anything that's suspicious, you need to say duck. And I said, duck? He says, yeah. I said, I'm blind. I don't know when to duck. I don't want to get shot. So we did that. We didn't have to duck any, and that was a good experience. Attorney General, working all over the place, and then after that, my lawyer changed places, and he worked with legal aid for poor people in Lexington, and I did that too.
Then you came back here and practiced law?
I did. 72, I came back, practiced by myself. I didn't know anybody. I was sole practitioner from 72 till the summer of 75, and then I went with a couple of older fellows. I thought they were real old. They were only 60, but and I was 25. So, you know, it worked out great.
Good.
I did public defender work for a while. Did that about 3 years. I became city attorney. Did that for 15 years.
Wow, I didn't realize that. When were you city attorney?
75 till 90.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you served on quite a few mayors.
I did. I served with. I think Curtis McCoy was the first one.
Great guy.
He was a good guy. And and he, you know, he worked, and they got, see, that's why they have a pipeline to the river.
Mm-hmm.
And they pump that in.
Mm-hmm.
Pee Wee gets low, then they refill it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a big project. That's about a $2 million project.
But you know, and Curtis really doesn't get as much credit as he should for a lot of things that he did to help the city of Madisonville.
Yes, he was a Vanderbilt University, had a master's degree in
Mm-hmm.
business administration. Really brought a lot of more business-like stuff to the city,
Mm-hmm.
and helped the city grow. Mayor Parrish was a nice guy, but he really didn't want the city to get very big.
Mm-hmm.
And that was somewhat of a hindrance to
Mm-hmm.
the city getting bigger.
Mm-hmm.
But things started well, and they started fast, and everything was working great with Mayor Curtis McCoy. And then he had one term, and Charlotte Baldwin became
Right.
the governor, our governor, came the mayor, and she did a tremendous job too.
Mm-hmm. Sure did.
She was a ball of fire. I mean, she had staff meetings. I mean, everything ran smooth. And then when she went to Frankfurt, she was appointed Secretary of Natural Resources. And then O.L. Lantef became the mayor.
Mm-hmm.
And then I served, he had, I think, a couple of terms.
Mm-hmm.
And that pretty much filled up my 15 years.
Wow.
But you did a lot. Back then you would be a prosecutor. They had police courts,
Mm-hmm.
which seems kind of strange, but you would, I mean, you could have been judge. I mean, you don't have to be a lawyer back then to be judge.
Wow.
And so I tried cases in Dawson Springs and Madisonville Police Court and Nortonville Police Court, just different things like that. But I had administrative duties with the city. Had to help them to defend any cases against the city, and if they needed cases brought, then I did that too. And I prosecuted people. So it was a good experience for what I'm doing now.
Right.
Only this being city attorney, being county attorney, that's kind of like
Has this something?
a bigger deal by far, 10th power, you know.
The county attorney's position, has that been something that has been in your scope, so to speak?
Well, actually my practice was such that I did lots of different things. I did trials, I did criminal work, I did done about 10 murder cases I defended, and that sort of grew out of my public defender work, because I had those skills and utilized them when people in trouble if I thought they had a righteous defense.
Sure.
And then after that I was doing work for different hospitals and things of that nature, and some doctors, sometimes when they have a suit, they would contact me and I'd defend them, and I'd defend the nurses, and they'd have lawsuits. And I'd say, you know, what has happened over the years, you know, you kind of get into a rut and you're doing the same thing all the time, and you kind of look for something that might be a little more exciting and take a new step. And I thought, well, you know, there was a time when the county attorney job was, under our Constitution, it's a constitutional office for the counties. And back then, when I first started, it was for young people that were wanting to be lawyers and had become lawyers. That was the people that you would get as a county attorney. I think Al Spinar went from highway department to becoming, or no, Al Spinar was with a lawyer named Powell, and then he ran for county attorney, and did a good job with that. So why did I do it? Well, back then it was amazing. There were not that many laws. There weren't all of the drug problems that we have today. And there was one county attorney and one secretary, and that was it. Because basically what you had to do was talk with the fiscal court if they had any legal questions, and any county government folks. You were their legal counsel, but there wasn't much going on. And then you were the county prosecutor, and that was it. And you collect delinquent taxes. Those are the three things that you have to do. So in terms of what do you have to do as county attorney, that's it. The office as it is now, over the years, has grown. And it's really outgrown a young lawyer doing it, because right now, there's probably $1 million that goes through that office. You've got, in addition to those duties I told you about, prosecuting, counseling, fiscal court, collecting delinquent taxes. Now you collect cold checks. You run by contract with the state child support collection. That's $500,000 goes through that office every year. And it requires a great deal of administration. In addition to that, they've started a program called the County Attorney's Traffic School that you have to do. And that is to say that if you get a ticket and you're going no more than 26 miles per hour over the speed limit, then not to have to lose points, not to have to go to the state traffic school in Lexington or Louisville. You can save money, not lose your license, not get those points against your license, and cost you really in your insurance rates. They judge you, your insurability, based on how many big-time speeding tickets you've got. The county attorney program is set up so the person can enroll in that, and they actually don't, if they get a ticket, then the ticket is dismissed. If they enroll in that program and go through the educational purpose that it's designed to do, it's designed to let people not particularly get higher insurance rates and have to go out of town for traffic school, and then the ticket ultimately gets dismissed. And that's something that the state legislature came up with and has allowed people to do.
Well, tell us, now that you're in office and everything.
Yes, sir.
Let's go back to election night.
Yes.
November 4th, I think it was.
That's right.
2014.
Yep.
Polls closed at 6 o'clock.
They did.
You were listening intently, I'm sure, at the returns as they were coming in.
Yes.
You and your family and friends. Tell me what was running through your mind as as the votes were coming in and the numbers were being read. What was? Tell us. Give us.
Well,
you
never know. You never know how something will turn out. As a trial lawyer, my favorite saying is, and I've heard it from the older people, and that is, you never know who a woman will marry or what a jury will do. Well, that also holds true for what a electorate will do in an election. You might win, you might not win. Just kind of a lot of, I guess you might say, unforeseen variables that influence that. I mean, all I knew was that I had knocked on doors, I had driven around, I had gone to wherever many people were gathered. I was there, and I did what I could to came out here to the fair. In fact, I was here this very spot in August, or July, when we had the fair, and the hot winds were blowing through the doors, you know. The air conditioner was trying to keep up.
Yeah.
We were able to give away a lot of fans. And so that, I had no way of knowing whether I'd win or not. I knew I'd done all I could. And when you do all you can, then you don't cast your faith to the wind. If you have faith, then you feel like that if you work hard, it will be rewarded. And by and large, that's sort of been my life. I have worked hard, and I'm not bragging about it, but you know, if you work, you'll succeed.
Absolutely. I know that you're a man of faith.
Yes.
You and your family, and I'm sure that played a big part in deciding to run and then taking your faith into the county attorney's office.
Yes, it did. And my wife, she's keeps me in her prayers, and I do likewise. She's had a little bout of pneumonia over the holidays, and that it was really a tough season for colds this year. It seemed like. I don't know about you, but I wound up having it. She had it, but she was so busy she couldn't get the rest that she needed.
What a blessing it is to have someone that's on your side like that.
Oh, is it ever? Yes, it is.
Yeah, yeah. That
we've been married We married in 1968 on June the 9th, and still married. And, she had many careers. She was a dental hygienist when we started out, and we came home, and she was working for a Dr. Baldwin, Eugene Baldwin, and I had passed. Well, I didn't know whether I'd passed the bar. See, you take the bar exam in July back then, and you still do, but you don't get the results till late September. You don't know whether you're going to be a lawyer, whether you're looking at another 6 months before you take the test again. Wow. So she was making money. I was the house guy. And I remember we bought when I had a paper route in Lexington on law school, I had a paper route too in addition to this other stuff. But I had purchased for $1,500 a Mercedes-Benz diesel taxi cab. And the thing blew a head gasket. And she came in from work one day, and she said, "I think there's something wrong with the car." And said, I looked out there, and that thing was steam coming out the tailpipe. I said, "I think the coolant's getting in there. I don't know how to fix it, but I'll buy a book." And we couldn't afford $1 million to do it, so I put the head gasket on that thing, fixed it. Wow. Well, you know, I had 3 months to do it. I had else to do. I remember I was in there under the car, and I was fooling with something else, and they said, "We're from the PVA. We want to assess your house." And I had to crawl out of there and told them stuff and helped them. They got it all taken care of. But it's adventures of life in a small town.
Oh, yeah, that's all part of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, listen, tell me, and County Attorney, we're going to kind of move on right quick.
Sure.
As County Attorney, do you have law enforcement duties?
I do have. I'm the chief law enforcement person for misdemeanors. Now, misdemeanor is anything that's less than a year in jail. So you see a lot in the paper, somebody gets 360 days in jail. Oftentimes they'll be suspended, but they give them that so they'll have that holding over their head in case they do have further violations of the law. Then they owe that time. So that's misdemeanors. Now, felony is something, you know, like robbery or burglary or anything for which the penalty is more than a year or more, and that goes to prison. You have to go to prison on those things. Although the prisons have gotten so full in Kentucky that they will house state prisoners in our detention center. Sure. They don't, you know, we get paid for that. But
sure. How many prosecutors are in the county attorney's office? In
the county attorney's office at the present time, it's me and 4 part-time assistant prosecutors. So we have 2 that cover the different courts. There's one Division I, that's Judge Messamore. Division II is Judge Whitledge. So I have Lee Riddle is in Judge Messamore's court, and Randy Hardesty is the assistant prosecutor in Judge Whitledge's court. But it doesn't stop there. You have juvenile court. So in juvenile court, I have Ashley Bruce, who is the juvenile court prosecutor. And she's assisted presently by Carol Mills, who also serves as my director of child support. And so we hope to get that resolved.
So you've put together a good staff.
Oh, good staff, real good staff. My office, my chief administrator person that's sort of, you know, you used to call them secretaries, but now they're legal assistants, and really my office administrator is Katie Kurlick. And she has a master's degree in business administration.
Good so, person, nice young lady.
Just excellent.
Her father and I are real close friends.
Oh, Jim Kurlick. Yeah. Jim was a great guy. Well, I forgot to mention one of my jobs was a door-to-door salesman, and for 2 summers, well, it was a really great cake, 1.5, because my wife was telling me that she was going to have to move to Atlanta, and so I kind of cut that tour of duty as a door-to-door salesman for the Courier-Journal. It was great. It was a great gig because they would give you $50 a week. You put that in the bank for college, and they pay for your meals and your hotel. Lexington, up to Bloomington, Indiana, all over the place. But it was fun. There were about 6 of us guys, and that's what we did.
Great.
It's a good way to learn how to meet people.
Sure. Tell us now about, and we're going to wrap this up, tell us a little when the county attorney's office is open. I know that you have an open door policy. Give us some idea.
I do. And our office opens at 8 in the morning, and then there's somebody there at lunch, and then we close at 4. We have the same hours that the rest of the courthouse does. That's how that works. Now, I also serve as a sort of an interim prosecutor when people have extra heavy loads or they're sick or whatever, and I've been trying to learn each prosecutor's job because it's difficult to be a supervisor if you if you don't know what their job is. So we also available for questions if you want to call. Most of the time we don't have, we're in transit, we're trying to get the website up that my opponent used to have. And that would be helping people too.
That'd be great. Well, we hope that we can come down, visit your office, and do a tour.
That'd be great.
Sometime in the spring or summer, and you can kind of show us around so people can see.
Oh, that would be fun. It sure would.
The office and learn more about it. And I know that when we talked before the election, you were talking about your commitment to be fair with people.
I want to be fair and I want to be just, and it's a matter of equality for everybody. And I think that's very, very important, and particularly on this Martin Luther King Day, where we're talking. And that's, you know, it's in the Constitution, it was in the Declaration of Independence. It was a long time coming, but it did come. And there's still work to do. But I want to run the office that's fair to everybody, and people. Now I will say this: we had an incident where someone had been arrested on a warrant issued by my predecessor. Well, they didn't pick him up till last week. And the guy was pretty mad about it and was he wanted to talk to county attorney. And I don't think he's bringing me any flowers. But anyway, the secretary receptionist said, you know, the guy's, he's awful upset. And I said, well, look, we don't have any real big security here. We have some, which I won't mention. But
I understand. But
so we did ask the police officer to come over and just, you know, say really where we meet people that have been arrested is in the courtroom. Not in them coming to see me if they have been arrested for something. Of course, particularly I thought, well, this would be rather ironic. I get beat up for something the other administration did. But that's, you know, that's life. We got it all figured out, and the guy understands. And the policeman talked to him, explained it to him. But I have, you know, most of the time at any given time, it's me and all the ladies that work there. There's about 6 in the office where I am, and then there's another 6 at the child support office.
Great. Well, Attorney Hopgood, we're so glad that you joined us for this edition of A Focus on Hopkins County. We've been wanting to spotlight the various new elected officials, and we're glad that you're the third.
Thank you so
out of
much.
This thing.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate you and your friendship.
Yes,
and
sir.
Being able to talk with you and admire you so. You were at a lot of the King celebrations this weekend. And
I was there last year too.
You were. You were.
I will be there.
Yeah, we appreciate that, and appreciate you being on Focus, and look forward to you coming back.
Thanks so much.
We've been talking with Hopkins County Attorney Byron Hobgood. He's been our guest this evening on Focus on Hopkins County, and as I said, we're going to be joining him later down through the year and doing a tour of his office and his staff as well. Coming up next, Dana Brown. Okay, we're back with the second half of our program, and I meant to tell you that we are coming to you from the Ballard Convention Center located on Hopkins County Fairgrounds. And we have joining us the lady who runs all of this, who takes care of all of this, big
Craziness.
complex.
Yes.
Yeah. No stranger to us because she is part of Focus on Hopkins County. You've seen her hosting, co-hosting with us. Mrs. Dana Brown.
Hello.
Hey, welcome back.
Thank you.
We got you in a little different position this time. Instead of interviewing, you're the interviewer, you're the interviewee.
Exactly.
So we're talking about a special event that's coming up here at the Ballard Convention Center. It's a Bridal, Prom, and Pageant Expo that is going to be big and exciting.
We hope so. It's on February the 8th,
Yes.
which is a Sunday, 1 to 5. Biggest thing to start off with is why have one? I've gotten that question so many times. We're already busy. It's a convention center. We've got lots and lots of stuff going on, but why have one? Why have a bridal expo? And basically, when the Ballard Center was built and we opened in 2009, the Fair Board didn't have a clue what this facility would be used for. I mean, they really, in their world, they produce the fair and do a great job with that, and then they also produce a tractor pull, do a great job with that, and that's it as far as experience goes. So when I came on board, it was with zero expectations about what we were going to do with this place.
Sure.
But slowly and surely, and then very, very quickly, we figured out that this was going to become a premier wedding venue. We are 5 years into it now, learned a lot over those years, but one thing we figured out that this town, this area, really needed this type of facility as a wedding venue. So fast forward, 5 years, multiple weddings, multiple different events in here, and then basically we just came down to it's time to do a bridal show. So we decided to make that 2015. We added prom and pageant onto it.
Sure, I noticed that. So
obviously the pageant side, because we know a little bit about pageants.
of course, right
with
around
the fair.
here.
Yeah, and I just want to put a little plug in for the county girls that represented Hopkins County so well at the state.
Yes.
The big state pageant that went on this last weekend. We actually had 6 lovely ladies that were Hopkins County residents that went up there and did just a great job.
That's wonderful.
One in other counties, still went up there, but represented Hopkins County really, really well. So we're tickled about that part. Added the prom into it because it just kind of goes along with the whole making your day just as perfect as it can be, and fun times there. As far as the Ballard Center goes and the wedding venues that we were talking about, another reason that we decided it was time to do a bridal expo. We have 3 different size halls here, and we're able to accommodate lots and lots of different size weddings and their receptions. So basically a bride would come in, over the last 5 years, and I'd sit down with her and we'd start to kind of craft her day. And that involved, what kind of hall do you want? How many people are you expecting? What kind of tables and chairs do you want? Do you want to have bar services and your catering? Do you have your photographer? So basically, event planning for them went along with my job.
Sure.
Along with, keeping the lights on
Just
and
wearing
everything.
all kind of hats in, yeah.
But actually, that's my very favorite part of my job.
You love that.
I love the event planning side of it, and you just see these ladies come in and they're just sparkling, and they're just so excited. And then about 10 minutes in the conversation, they're so overwhelmed they can't figure out where they're supposed to go. So another reason that we just felt it was time to do a bridal expo, with all the weddings that we've done and the bride's sitting there in my office and she's overwhelmed, the quickest way I can calm her down is hand her my book. And inside of that book is every vendor that's been in here, from flowers, photography, catering, music, dresses, you name it,
it's right
there. And she can pick through and kind of see and get cards and get information out of it. So we're basically kind of become a one-stop shop. You come here first, get your venue, and then start working out whether your photographer or your caterer can get you on that day. So we just felt like it was time. I mentioned we're going to add on the bridal, not only the bridal, but the prom and the pageant part of it.
How many weddings have you done here already?
Oh, Tim, I was trying to think about that. I bet you, it's in the hundreds.
Really?
Yeah, it really is. That is our #1 thing that we do out here. And they're they're mini productions all by themselves with the staffing and everything that goes into it.
Sure. Everybody has a different flavor, different
they do.
style of doing things.
And the personalities are fun because they come in and they've seen it all on Pinterest or something, and we try to craft it all. But But as far as the expo and stuff goes, we've got 40 vendors coming, around 40 vendors. Hopefully we'll have a little bit more when it actually gets here. Really excited though. So everything from, you know, your limo, because, you know, got to have a limo.
That's right.
You got to have a limo for prom, got to have a limo for the wedding, flowers, makeup, jewelry, catering obviously, dresses, you name it, it's coming. And that's the wedding stuff. And then also for prom, we've got prom dresses coming, we've got DJ services coming, hair and makeup, jewelry. I think we even have a shoe vendor that's coming, so that'll be fun.
Wow.
And then the pageant side of it goes along so well with it. Same thing, dresses, hair, makeup, all that good stuff for vendors. And then we'll have some of our returning queens. They're going to come out and give lessons on interviewing or how to walk or how to wave. So that part's just going to be fun.
Yeah, yeah.
So obviously the vendors will come in, they'll set up. The public is invited to come to the Ballard Center from 1 to 5. There's a $3 admission.
You cannot even get a Big Mac for $3.
Exactly.
And look what all you get for $3.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you also get your name entered into all of our prizes and giveaways.
Yes.
Every vendor is bringing something spectacular that somebody who shows up at our expo is going to walk away with. Another really exciting thing we're going to do, we're going to have a showcase. So since we know a little bit about pageants, we've already established that.
Sure, sure.
We're actually having some of our pageant directors come in and they're going to stage a bridal showcase and then a prom showcase with the music and the models, just a lot of high energy and fun stuff. So,
Wow, so
I know.
It's exciting. So this is on February
the 8th.
1 to 5 p.m., which is a Sunday, so people can leave church, go grab your quick bite, and then come out here
Exactly.
and spend the afternoon and just learn a lot about wedding planning.
It's going to be
Proms.
fun. And there's going to be some stuff for guys too. You know,
Sure.
guys got to have a tux.
That's right.
So, you know, come on out here and check that out. A lot
How
of
many
our,
are we expecting?
You know, I don't know, Tim. It's our very first one.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Is this a brainchild of yours to do this? Is this something that you came up with?
Well, like we talked about, I've been asked so many times,
To
you know.
put something like this?
Something like this. And then just sitting in there with the brides and figuring out that you really don't know what you're doing when you're starting. And wouldn't it be nice to have something here local that maybe you don't have to travel to Owensboro or Evansville, something here that utilizes our great vendors too.
Sure.
We've got lots and lots of Hopkins County businesses that are going to be involved, but then we also have folks coming from Evansville, Clarksville, Owensboro, Hopkinsville. So lots and lots of folks that really are interested in making, you know, that special day. And so the public will come in, they'll see the showcase, they'll have great food because the caterers are cooking. They'll have opportunities to sample that, see cake making. We're also going to have opportunities for the vendors to show hair and makeup styles. And so it's just going to be packed and it's going to be a lot of fun.
That is great. That is great. So we want to encourage everyone to come out and be a part of this.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be a great event and a great time to plan your wedding. This is the perfect place to plan a perfect wedding, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. What else do you want to share with us that's going to be exciting about that day?
Yeah, I personally think all of it is. I've had a couple questions, you know, this is your very first one. Are you nervous? You know, do you expect things to go well? And what I usually tell them is we're in the business of event planning. So because we are able to produce such a great fair that brings in, you know, 25,000 people in that 5-day span, we run 5 different huge pageants and all the complicated parts and working parts that goes into it. I feel like we've covered all our bases, and now we just really want the public to come on out and see all the wonderful things that
this
we're
is just
doing.
cruise mode here.
Exactly, this is easy.
Oh yeah, this is a piece of cake.
Yep.
No pun intended. But yeah,
Good piece of cake anyway.
a good piece of cake. But yeah, it works.
Yeah.
It works. That's what it's all about. So we encourage you, and this is for people all around the area.
Everywhere.
Anywhere. And if you're watching this on Surf KY, which we're now on the internet
Awesome.
and YouTube, you know, if you're clicked into this, you know someone that is needing this type of service, we encourage you to come out and be a part of this.
Absolutely, it's going to be fun.
It is. It is. Do you 1 to 5 is a good time. There will be refreshments, as you said, that type of thing for people to enjoy,
Absolutely.
as well as they go through.
Yep, and there'll be a lot of door prizes, a lot of handouts, things that they can take away with them. And I want to make sure people understand it's not just for the bride. I mean, there's going to be prom and pageant stuff going on too, and pageants are huge in this area. I don't know if you've realized that or not. All the parades that you've seen and the pageant girls going by, but it's a pretty big deal.
Sure, and proms are big.
Yeah, absolutely.
And proms are coming up pretty soon.
Everybody's starting to get their dresses, get a little concerned about that perfect dress. And we're going to have a lot of cash and carry items here too. The dress vendors are actually bringing things that not only can the girls see up on the stage on the models, but they can try them on themselves, touch them, feel them, maybe order something, or if they find the perfect dress, why not go ahead and buy it and get that over with?
Right.
Take it home.
Right.
One less thing to worry about.
Yeah. So, you know, I want to encourage you, and I'm sure you're doing this, putting it on at the high schools, putting it in their announcements on in the mornings when they do their announcements, because a lot of the juniors and seniors will take heed to that.
Well, and they will, and they're helping us out. The schools are really doing a nice job helping us out by putting flyers up, like we mentioned, talking about it, doing different announcements, and just generally kind of getting behind us, because you know it's the Ballard Convention Center.
That's right.
You know,
and you've been the director of the Ballard Convention Center how long now?
Oh, I've been their only director. So we opened in 2009.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, a while, but it seems like it was just yesterday that we kind of got going, got our vibe going, and then figured out that if we were going to continue basically exploding with weddings and different kinds of really nice events like that, that we were going to need to start remodeling. You know, we got this beautiful part of the facility, and then we had some older buildings, and in May, I think it was about 3 years ago, we spent over $200,000 remodeling one of our halls that is now just a gorgeous place to have a wedding. You really don't need to decorate it with the chandeliers and the pretty walls and floors. And then I'm excited to say that in this next year, we're going to spend some money on the other hall. Oh, wow. So I mean, it's just great. And this is a perfect time. Yeah, maybe you come back out here and we'll give you a tour then.
We'll do that. We'll do that. And that'll be exciting as well. Dana, when you first came to Madisonville, you were just trying to get settled in, meet people, get your feet wet, so to speak, and you landed this job here doing this, and now Dana Brown has become a household name.
Oh my goodness.
You really don't have to say your last name, you just say Dana and everybody knows.
Oh, I'm there now, huh?
Yeah,
like
you're
Cher,
there.
I'm Dana.
Yeah, you're Dana now, so you know. When I'm asked, well, is Dana going to help with and this is mostly by young men want to know, is Dana helping with the parade? So you have really helped our ratings, so we appreciate that.
I'll do everything I can. Thanks, Tim. I'll put that on my job description.
Just make it happen.
All right, why not?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I appreciate you letting me do it. This is a great town.
It is.
And like you said, I've only been here about 6 years when Jarrett and I moved to town, but you know, the people are just wonderful. If you've got an idea, they'll let you run with it. A lot of really just positive. I mean, pretty much anything that we wanted to do, we can figure out a way to make it happen.
Sure.
So, it's fun.
So you and Jarrett have settled in. He's an insurance agent with here, and your two sons.
Yep, Shepherd and Sand.
Are growing up now.
Yep, and I'm going to put them in a tux for this.
Is that right?
Yes, I'm going to put them to work. They already come out here and help Mama anyway, so now they're going to put a tux on and maybe hand out roses or something.
That's pretty neat. Yeah.
They're 9, so I can still make them do that.
That's right.
They'll still let me, you know, dress them up.
That's right. That's good. That's good. It's all about enjoying the event and having it as a learning experience too.
Absolutely.
And this is a service-oriented type event as well, because there's so many services to be offered.
Exactly.
Right. It is the Bridal, Prom, and Pageant Expo, which is going to take place on Sunday, February the 8th at this very building, the Ballard Convention Center, from 1 to 5 p.m. If people want to have more information, we're going to put on the screen, but tell us the number and where they can go to on the...
Sure, you just contact me, Dana Brown, at 270-245-2970, or you can go to ballardconventioncenter.com and you can actually see pictures of the halls dressed up for weddings and different events. It's going to be a great day, and I invite everybody to come on in, so I hope all of your viewers get as excited about this as I am.
Right. The bride to be, we're just talking about weddings though, the bride be able to sit down
Oh, yes.
and discuss
Absolutely. Yeah.
the day.
They can discuss it with me, they can discuss it with the other staff, the vendors will have things. So it really is going to be a one-stop shop, and we've made sure that the vendors that we actively went after to bring in kind of plugged each of the different areas for the brides or for the girls that are going to be in pageants or the
And you're
girls
going to
that
have
are going
around
to
how
prom.
many vendors is it? I couldn't read this.
We're going to have, I know you can't read my handwriting.
Is
That's
this
not
40?
one of my skills, it's handwriting.
Is this 70, 40,
No, that's
10?
about 40.
40,
Thank
okay,
you.
okay,
About 40.
okay.
You know, just enough to fit in there. And then the other thing is, we wanted it to be our style, you know, where you can actually touch and feel and have a conversation with those vendors, and you're not fighting with 100 other people trying to get in front of somebody. I mean, you really will have that tactile experience of being right there when one of the hair salons is showing the latest updo, or you know, we've got the reigning Miss Preteen for Kentucky, Natalie Nicholson, will be here with her sash and her crown, and she'll be telling you all how she made it happen, which if you know her, she's got the cutest personality.
Yes,
So it's going to be fun.
It's great, great. So we're inviting everyone out.
Yep.
To make it, we put it on the screen, you know the date, the time, just show up and be here.
Absolutely. And it's on the Hopkins County Fairgrounds for anybody who's not familiar with the Ballard Center.
That is correct. It's on Hopkins County Fairgrounds, which is located at 605 East R Street here in Madisonville, Kentucky. You get off at the first exit, coming from the north, right? Coming from the south, get off at the first exit, right? And coming from the north, you get off at the second exit.
There you go.
And just follow that
You
street all the way
can't miss
around. You
us.
can't miss it. Just keep going. So
All right.
we
Well, thank you.
look forward to it.
All right.
Okay, anything else you want to share?
No, I think that's it.
Is that it?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
I really appreciate, though, you being here with me and the Ballard Center. And I remember you way back when I first started this job. We did a tour for
Yes.
Focus, and
Yeah.
now it kind of full circle.
Yeah.
fun.
Great things to come. Great things to come. We've been talking to Mrs. Dana Brown, who is the executive director of the Ballard Convention Center, and she's talking about this great event coming up, the Bridal, Prom, and Pageant Expo, the perfect place to plan your perfect day, on Sunday, February 8, 2015, 1 to 5 p.m. here at the Ballard Convention Center, which is located on the Hopkins County Fairgrounds, 605 East R Street here in Madisonville, Kentucky. First half of our program, we talked to County Attorney Byron Hobgood, and he shared a little bit about his life and a little bit about the County Attorney's office, and it's just been a good program. And we encourage you, if you've seen this program, call someone and let them know, hey, watch it tomorrow night, watch this program. They will certainly, I think, get a lot out of it. I'm your host, Tim Thomas, on behalf of Wayne Vespie and myself. Thank you for tuning in. Keep sharing the dream.